Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Reel-ists podcast, where we review films and consider how certain scenes or aspects tie into real life. My name is Donnie.
And I'm Oscar.
And we have our producer, Ruben, here.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, Ruben. Thank you for the introduction. So, this episode, we are going to discuss the movie, drum roll, please, Oscar, Insidious. Insidious, The Last Key. So this is the fourth installment in the franchise. And if you guys are listening, if you're familiar with the franchise, you know that this is actually not the fourth movie. It doesn't go in chronological order. So the first two films was like
a case. It was a case.
Yeah, it was a case. And then we come to find out that the third movie was actually like a prequel to the first movie.
They're not like, what do you call them? Like, now that I think about it, I don't know.
Chapters, volumes.
No. The team, the two guys and Elise.
Oh, they're like
Ghostbusters, like
kind of Ghostbusters. I mean, I know she's considered a quote unquote parapsychologist. So it's like, which I guess is what, like a psychic or someone who can like speak to dead people. I think really.
But yeah, 3 and 4 cover her job.
Right.
Essentially, this is a story of the character and her origin. You get to find out who she was as a child, how this all tied into her life, compared to number 3, where number 3 was her first case and diving into this as like a career kind of job.
Right.
So,
exactly.
Yeah, this one's definitely going to start covering just her origin. So it wraps up for her character. And we'll get into that as we go into this.
Yeah, but definitely really like the movie. So basically, just to give you like a quick, brief synopsis, yes, it talks about her upbringing and her origins, but it basically centers on a man who gives her a call. He thinks that his house is being haunted, so he calls Elise, which I don't really know. Did the film talk about like how he even knew to call her or how he had her number or like where?
Well, yeah, they started their company, the three of them,
mm-hmm.
Elise and the two guys.
Okay.
They already have like, the two guys are promoting this, like, call us if you feel like you have paranormal stuff going around your house.
Oh, okay.
So
that's where he got, okay. That totally makes sense. Basically.
Tucker and Specs. Just want to make sure I say that.
What was it?
Tucker and Specs.
Tucker and Specs. Yeah, they were awesome. So yeah, this man is basically, in his house. He bought this house and it turns out to be haunted. So he calls Elise and Tucker and Specs. And the twist is that it was actually the house that Elise grew up in. So it kind of delves into that, going in that direction. And, she's kind of reliving moments from her childhood and her upbringing. So it's just a really interesting film. What were your initial thoughts of the film, Oscar?
It's tough because this is essentially a character development movie. I feel like this wasn't really about the actual paranormal. I feel like this was about her
mm-hmm. that
has a connection to that in this movie, which is her home. So I feel like it could have been any monster in this situation. There was no like, this is a monster of the movie kind of, we got to stop this monster from killing more people in this house kind of thing. It was really just like her coming back to her original home that, in a sense, started this all for her.
Right.
That got her scared and stuff. So knowing that, it is kind of disappointing if you wanted to go into a scary movie, because that's like that's a second plot.
Yeah.
The first plot was get to know her, which is, I felt like we had that in the third one, but I guess they wanted it to be more in depth. So it was like, it's like when you do an essay and the teacher is like, can you do another paragraph? I think you need to add a little bit more detail to this. Kind of like, I felt like it was like that. But yeah, I liked it. I liked it for that reason, that it was a character development, not necessarily for a scary movie.
Yeah.
So
agreed. For sure. I think the other 3 films, in my opinion, definitely had more like disturbing imagery, and like the monsters were kind of scarier, and like definitely after I've seen all 3 of those films, like that night I probably couldn't sleep because I was thinking about the monsters I had seen. Whereas this film, the imagery wasn't as disturbing, or the monsters weren't as scary looking, and like you said, it did kind of dive deeper into like, you know, her childhood and kind of where it all began. So it wasn't, I feel like the purpose of this film wasn't to like scare, like to really be scary, you know, to like scare people like the first one. I feel like the first one was more of like, ooh, let's watch it on Halloween, and let's like, you know, they had all the scary monsters, and it was really, really like, oh, like close your eyes. And this one wasn't as much of that, which is fine, because it did go into the character more, Elise Rayner, and I you know, love her. I wish she was my grandmother. Remember I said that to you when we were in the theater? I don't know why. I don't know if it's her character or if it's the actress. I don't think it's the actress, because I don't really know her personally. But like the character, Elise Rayner, she just, I don't know, she seems like a really, really cool like lady. And I want to.
If she was your grandma, you would be scared.
Well, dude, yeah, for real. If she was my grandma, then I'd be like, you
get away from,
get the hell out of my house.
Just like her brother, like, go away.
Yeah, I'd be a little terrified, but she just, I don't know, she's cool. I like her. So also one thing that I really liked about the film too was that it did kind of go, I kind of touched on this, but like it did go out of order in terms of like as the films were released. So like we said, this film and film 3 actually happened first, like in the story, and then the first Insidious and the second Insidious actually happened later in the story. So which is cool. I'm always into like a good prequel or like back to the origins, where it originally began. Like I'm pretty into that.
I mean, I think the biggest question is, did you want more? Mm-hmm. Did this movie justify saying I can conclude that her story was tragic, or what, you know, whatever your feelings were towards that? Do you feel like that came off of this movie? Like after, okay, just say 1, 2, 3 were the only ones,
mm-hmm.
and if they did a fourth one, it's a new case, a new set of characters.
Right.
Would you have been like, no, I want another one with Elise in it?
You know what? I didn't know that that's what this film was going to be about. Like, taking it back to how it all began. But I liked it. I liked that. So I don't know if it had been like a new case with new characters, I maybe would have been like, all right, we're beating a dead horse. Like, we get it, you know, but because it was more of a personal film for that character, I appreciated that more.
Like, I guess I don't know if we're probably talking to him more later, but a fifth one, if there's a fifth one,
I mean,
if see more again? Is it
another prequel?
Right?
Is it going even more into like her teenage years?
This 2-hour movie covers exactly 2 hours before the first one starts.
I don't know. I'm satisfied with what we got. Like, I'm good. Like, I think that concluded it. It led us back to the first one because you saw scenes that were like, oh, this is like towards the end of the movie, like, oh, this is from the first one. It's, you know, and you know where it's going if you've seen all the films of the franchise. So, you know, I'm good. I'm good with what we got.
Okay.
I don't, you know, like, I don't want to be like Insidious Chapter 9, the case of, you know, I'm like, come on.
The hour before she started.
Like, let's finish it. Let's call it a day.
I will say, given that it was part scary movie, there were scenes that were scary, or at least jump scares that got me. I don't know about you. They got me. The intro, I think the intro was the scariest, only because you really didn't know what the tone was going to be for the movie.
When you say the scariest, like the scariest what? Like scene of the movie? Or?
Right, like the one where you're just like, what's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen? Because I didn't know she had a brother. So
yeah, I
felt like the brother could have, like, you know, got killed or something.
Right.
Like, I just felt like, because we didn't know anything, like, we didn't know her parents, we didn't know anything about them, so anything could have happened.
Right.
So I feel like that was like that moment where you don't know anything.
Mm-hmm. Like,
when she was an adult, you know, the three of them survived.
Right. So
I felt like the intro was like the scariest, and I guess that's a little sad because the monster, when it was in it, I wasn't really scared of it. I was just like, how is he going to come out and fight them or whatever, come out and spook them.
Like, how's he going to show himself? And
right.
Yeah.
But I felt like the intro, we didn't know what it could be. And I remember like the part with the door and she peeks through or like it opens and then his hand starts coming out.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know what's coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you've seen like marketing and you know the monster, but like.
But still, yeah.
Your imagination is running wild.
Yeah. And that's always like the scariest thing. It's like, it's not what you see, it's like what you don't see. And then you're like, your imagination's trying to fill in all the gaps. And then usually, at least my imagination makes like the thing even more scarier or more like disturbing than what it actually ends up being. But absolutely. Something specific I wanted to talk about was, so this is kind of a spoiler moment, just to let you guys know. So there's a niece. There are two nieces actually in the film, correct? So she finds her brother. And finds out he had two daughters. And one of the niece had the same abilities as Elise, which I thought was really cool. Well, really interesting, first of all, because it's like then we have to kind of look at, okay, so in this world where, this woman can see spirits and talk to dead people and her niece can too. So like those abilities are passed through genetics, I guess. I mean, and just I don't know. It was just interesting because I totally didn't see that coming. Like I just didn't see it coming.
Okay.
So then I was thinking, wow, well, dang, if I was in the movie and like she was my niece, then I would have those abilities. I don't know. I just thought it was like an interesting little twist. Like she just came out of nowhere. I can do it too. I can go to the further too. So that was cool.
Imogen Raynor is the character name
of the niece.
The one that has the ability.
The abilities,
The one that adopts that, I guess. I mean, to me, the characters. To me, the one that didn't make sense. There's two actually. The dad,
mm-hmm.
Elise's dad, and her brother.
Okay.
The dad, I don't know. Like, I know. Again, this is spoilers. Like, they would try to say the monster was like not possessing him, but like influencing his
mm-hmm.
behavior.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like that justified it. Like, like when you're watching.
Really?
Right. Like when you're watching it. You see his, his behavior. I just feel like that trying to make him sound like, he probably was a good guy, but he was influenced living in this house. I feel like that didn't execute well. Like I didn't feel, I don't know how you felt, but I felt like that the dad should have remained just like that a bad word dad
mm-hmm.
that, just was like that, and the mom was, opposite. How did the mom not get influenced? What was the factors? Like they didn't just say. Yeah. They just kind of felt like
that's a good point. Actually, I didn't think about that.
They were just like, oh, he actually cared about Elise. It wasn't, he hit her, so many times, but he cared. I was like, I don't know. And then the brother, I honestly feel like if you had that kind of traumatic childhood, you would not stay in that city.
Mm.
Like growing up, you would be far away from that city.
Right.
Like the fact that he stayed in the area in the neighborhood and made a life out of that.
Mm. Right. Like if you were so troubled by your upbringing and your childhood, like why would you? Yeah, it would make sense that he would want to like flee.
Right. You would
kind of like
so.
what Elise did. Like leave it behind.
I could see him joining the military to get away from this place, like somewhere that he is forcefully has to leave.
Right.
But maybe they didn't say, but maybe he did leave. Maybe he was like, maybe this is where he found his love, and he was like, I'm willing to come back for my love. Where we could make it more like impressive, probably. But those two characters, I think, were the characters that I felt were not badly written, but were missed opportunities.
Yeah. Like they weren't executed
right
how they could have been.
Right.
Speaking of where you lived, Five Keys, New Mexico.
Yeah.
Looked so boring in that movie. Like, I would want to leave too. I don't blame Elise. Regardless of what you've been through, it just looked boring, and it's just like, I don't know. Like even when they were in that little diner area or like driving alongside the road.
What?
I wonder why I wonder why that was
this
in the script.
present? Did Insidious 1 take place in the year it came out?
Like the year it came out? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this was about like days before. Like a month maybe, but days.
Yeah, well, I mean, because in the final scene when she got the call at the end, she said, "Okay, I'll be there tomorrow."
So yeah.
Okay. So it was the day before.
Well, then this town is out of date. I was trying to think, like maybe
Get with the times. 5 Keys, New Mexico. Jeez, figure it out.
But yeah, I honestly feel like the characters, the new characters, were not fleshed out.
Yeah,
they definitely were. Like, I don't want to say like they were just like typical characters, but they take them away. Do they make a difference in the movie? It's like, not necessarily. Like this, at least still would have defeated this monster probably without any of them interfering.
Well, that kind of leads me to another thing I want to talk about too. So yeah, I mentioned the niece who had these same abilities. So when Elise went into the further and kind of got like trapped or something, locked up, and somebody had to go in and get her. So her niece went in and got her, which I thought was pretty brave and heroic. But I'm like, I don't know. It was just interesting because it's like you just met this woman. You have you don't know anything about her. And I mean, the only thing you know is that you both share these abilities. So you're just so willing to like kind of put yourself at risk to go help her, which is a beautiful thing. Like I'm not condemning her for doing it. Like it's cool. Like that was awesome. But I just thought I was like in real life, kind of relaying it back to real life. Like, would somebody really be that willing if this was a real thing? Like if somebody they just met was trapped in this kind of, other realm that we can't see, and, would they be that brave to go and be like, I'll do it. I'll go find her.
I felt like maybe I didn't get it, but I felt maybe they should have pushed her needing to save her sister, angle more. I guess we got mentioned the sister, one of the sisters, the other one, gets attacked by the demon. They're demons, I think, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think monsters, demons, whatever they are, gets attacked by it, and in which case she is hospitalized. And
she's in a coma.
Yeah. And so she's getting weaker.
But really her soul is trapped in the further.
Right. And so I felt like that could have been the push. Even that could have. I feel like they went with go save Elise because you have the power. But
that's right. Exactly. I feel like that too. They're like, go do it for Elise. But normally you would have done it for your sister, you know?
Yeah.
First you would have done it for your sister. If it was between my sister or my aunt that I had just met, 2 days ago, I would be like, no, I need to save my sister. Hopefully I can save Elise too.
Or to save my sister, I need to get this woman that...
Yeah, but it didn't really... they didn't shoot it or portray it from that angle. Like, I need to save my sister. It was just like, I can go because I have the same abilities. I
don't know what I'm going to get myself into, but I can go.
Right. So I'm like, girl, do it for your sister. But
briefly, what is the place that they go into?
The further.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking the Fuhrer, but that was hit. That's not right. No. The further, I still feel like it's missed opportunity as well to really understand what this place is. This place just feels like the Stranger Things upside down world. Like it just feels like it's a place that exists.
Right.
But why does it house these demons? Is it hell? Is it like this movie's version of hell? Like it doesn't. Yeah. None of the movies do, and I guess I don't know if that's a up to your imagination thing. Because my thing for at least would be like, how the hell can I get this to close? No more monsters come out of it.
Right,
that's gonna be the 5th movie.
Trying to shut down the further. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised. Actually, that got me interested.
The thing is, I don't know if you saw the promotional trailer movies, but they made it seem like more the
more
things
monsters
living there would be present.
Yeah, there were a couple things that I remember seeing and it did not end up making it into the film. Yep. So that was interesting. Maybe if it comes out on DVDs, maybe they'll have deleted scenes or.
I mean, yes, movies get like scenes cut out all the time, but I feel like that was a chance for them to actually, have you interested in further. But
Yeah.
no, I guess I feel like the missed opportunities is what the theme of this movie.
Yeah, I know, right? As we're discussing it, we're kind of finding, certain things they could have done a little differently. It's still a good film, though. What was your favorite part of the film? Could be anything, a scene, a character, anything. Favorite part of the film.
I think my favorite part was the twist, both the past and the present twist. Like it was an actual person being trapped. So when she was a young teenage girl, and it was an actual woman that was trapped, that I thought was impressive. I didn't catch that. I really thought it was like a trapped ghost or whatever.
Yeah.
But nope, it was an actual person. And in real life, the guy that calls for help, again, influenced by this monster, which I need to find out if it had a name. Because that's a bad thing. If you don't have the monster name, like, I don't know if you can really think of a monster and not name it. Like, I feel like if I was like, Donnie, what scares you? I don't feel like you'd be like, that one thing that has like, keys for claws. Is it Key Man? Can we call it Key Man? But I like that twist. So that scene when you found out, or at least when she finds out that was an actual person that I let die.
Yeah, that was
because I just didn't see that coming at all.
All right.
So that was my favorite scene. I like the jump scares though, like with the briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get a jump scare.
Yeah, you just hold your holding your breath or covering your eyes,
right?
Or
both.
Or both.
It was like, is it this one? No. Okay, next box. Is it this one? Nope. All right, next one. And you're just like, I know it's coming.
The anticipation just building. I hate those. That's what I hate about scary movies.
Because she would check like beyond the suitcase. She would look back. So you're just like, where is it coming from? Just show it. So I like those jump scares. I did feel like the jump scares were very few, but they were good. So that's a positive for the film.
Okay, absolutely. My favorite part of the film actually was, it's kind of like the cheesy part, but when she blows the whistle and her mother comes to like kind of help her out, rescue her in the end. Because we didn't really see the mom, like after the beginning, after she died, we didn't really see much of her. I don't think we saw her at all throughout the film, right? Like after she died, we didn't see her for a good chunk of the film. And then when Elise blew the whistle, because her mom told her brother, if he blows this whistle, I will come running. And I thought that was just like such a cool moment, like very, very endearing moment. Like, oh, even after all these years. If she blows the whistle, blow the whistle.
Did Elise know that was going to happen?
I think she did.
Because she went for the whistle.
She was like fighting to get that whistle. Like, yeah, she was like,
she
knew. Maybe that was just her. Maybe she didn't know. Maybe that was just her last shot at salvation. Like, you know what? I'll give this a try. Like,
but speaking of the whistle, that could have been a reason why the brother came. Like, they could have. I felt like the whistle was an attractive piece where the brother wants to come back to town to like wrap up his childhood or something. Like maybe that item was, in a big scenario with the house. I felt like the house, there had to be something that causes the brother to come back rather than the brother living there. So I think that I have tough time trying to really believe that the brother was there and like, I lived in that house, but don't go there.
Yeah. And that's something they could have discussed or explained further. Or like did he leave? Did he stay there his whole life? Like, we don't know.
Right. The only thing I felt was believable was his like, I'm not talking to you to Elise. Like, I'm done with you. You left me.
Yeah.
I can understand that. That I 100% felt like was done right, but him still being in the town, that's my thing.
You just can't let that go.
Why still there?
So, all right, what do you rate this film? Final reel score out of 5 movie reels, Oscar. What do you give it?
2.5.
Ooh.
I don't know if we're doing 5s.
Yeah, it's out of 5, right?
No, like halves.
Sure. Why not? 2 and 7/10 of a real film.
2.75. No, I gave it 2.5 solely because I felt, again, it was a character development, and it was nice to get the definition of why she really got into this world of, the further and the whole paranormal psychologist. What was it? Parapsychologist, you said?
Yeah, parapsychologist.
Why she officially became that. Because the last one really was just more like, okay, I'm really going to do this. That's in the same way it's like, for myself, I'm going to be an actor. And in my first movie, I'm really going to be an actor. This is it. This is me being an actor. So I felt like that explained that part. But this one really explains how she was just from the beginning, from a child, she really got to this point. Like, she was always going to do this. Like,
right.
it was, I felt like it was destiny. So I felt like that was positive. That was a great positive. The jump scares that were there were well done, in my opinion. Not too many of them. I think that is where the bad side comes out of it. To call it Insidious, and not make the monster scary, like, I feel like that in itself, I feel like you could have done both. I feel like you could have done a balance of both. I just feel like it wasn't executed as well. As already said, many missed opportunities.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I was a little bit nicer with the score. I actually gave it 3 out of 5 reels. And that was just mostly because I really did like the film. Like you said, I totally agree. A lot of missed opportunities, but I think kind of digging into the origin of Elise and her upbringing and how, the relationship with her parents and her dad, the abuse she was subjected to by her dad, and how all those things kind of played out, played into her, I guess, her destiny eventually. And just seeing the backstory was really interesting. Like we said, it definitely wasn't as scary. I was expecting it to be a little bit more scary, but we got a better sense of the character and her past, so I was pretty into it.
I just want to make sure we mentioned in the podcast, it does have a name, Lipstick Face. Or is that the first one? No, that's the first team.
No, that's the first. That's the red face.
That one. That little cameo, though.
Yeah,
that was something else.
That did scare me.
I'm trying to find out the name. It has to have a name. Keyface. Oh, it's Keyface.
Is it Keyface?
It's Keyface.
All right. The red one's Lipstick Face?
Yeah.
Are they all face? Something face? The third one was Oxygen Face? Oxygen Man Face?
I like Key Man better.
Key Man.
I became emotionally attached.
You can just call him that. It's fine.
Because his hands was keys.
Right.
That has to be Key Man.
Finger Key Man?
That sounds wrong.
All right, let's not go there. So that was our review of the film Insidious, The Last Key. I definitely want to hear from you guys and know your thoughts on the film. If you felt like it could have been scarier or was as scary as the other 3 films, or just your thoughts in general, so you can let us know on any of our social media accounts. Remember to check us out on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Team Reel-ists. That's at Team REELISTS, no dash. Also, remember to subscribe to us on iTunes and Stitcher, and more to come. Thank you so much for listening, guys.
Thank you, everyone.